astrology and other divinatory arts are not a replacement or substitute for physical or psychiatric health care. If this is an emergency situation or you are in crisis, please do not defer your wellness to readings or horoscopes. Seek situation-appropriate, qualified assistance instead. Hey there, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising, and it's time to have a look and see what is going on when it comes to your monthly astrological forecast for December 2022. And just a quick reminder, if you are ever interested in getting a session with me, you do need to go on ahead to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com, or you can follow the links in the down bar below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it. Leave a comment even, because of course all content you engage with grows. So what is going on when it comes to your December? Well, all month long, we have some leftover energy from November that's going to actually be with us all the way up until mid-January 2023. And that is Mars retrograde in Gemini. This is your 8th house of shared resources, passive income, as well as intimacy, your self-employment earnings, and any kind of joint finance operations you have going on. With Mars retrograde, wherever it goes, it puts that part of the chart under construction. And we're going to be noticing a lot of demolition, a lot of renovation, diminished activity, dismantling of old arrangements and structures, and even taking pieces off the board that have become liabilities, as well as removing a lot of enemies and adversaries from your world. With Mars retrograde in the 8th house, this can be a time where a lot of you Scorpio people are seeing that the field of play as it relates to maybe any kind of income situation outside of an hourly or salary income is changing. This affects self-employment, commissions, incentive programs, bonuses, and tips. Now with Mars retrograde, we are pulling apart a lot of old ways of conducting business here. And the same thing can also apply to investments. And during the transit, it can be a little bit tumultuous. It can be a time where, it's up one week and it's down the next. It's up one week and it's down the next. However, by the time we get to mid-January, it is pristine, it is golden. You're in the middle of a big sensibility change when it comes to your financial world. Mars retrograde, however, is also eliminating a lot of blocks when it comes to maybe achieving some kind of new financial status or sense of security or affluence in your life by removing a lot of investments as well as people that maybe you have become attached to that are not helping you when it comes to your own growth here. And this is also a time for the removal and elimination of the legacy of maybe people in your life or in a partner's life that have created a lot of blocks to intimacy and trust. This is, however, going to be coming down hard on a lot of unhealthy behavior that may have been going on in old connections, whether they are platonic, business, family, or romantic. And every once in a while, it can, shake us up a little bit. But remember, we're just seeing it as it's coming up and going away from us. Be careful not to defend that which is indefensible. If it's hurt you or it's hurt other people, trying to redeem it, trying to make excuses for it, let it go. It's been blocking you, it's been blocking your money, it's been blocking your love. And this is going to be a time where there is no reason to hold on to it anymore. Let Mars retrograde do its work. Week 1, we do have the Sun, Venus, and Mercury all in your 2nd house of earned income, employment, your values, and your valuables. So in spite of Mars retrograde doing what he's doing over in house number 8, financially, you are doing very well for yourself. The Sun in the 2nd house is helping to increase the value and the profits that you are making from the work you are putting out in the world. Because the Sun, all about attention, enhancement, support, and growth, is encouraging a lot of you Scorpio people to not only get yourself out there to be seen, but also to welcome offers and opportunities that are going to maybe change what you consider to be normal. With the Sun in the 2nd house, this is where people get a chance to make raises or raise their prices or get themselves into a position where everything that they have been doing is suddenly all the more valuable to the right people. Mercury is speeding up the rate with which you are completing a lot of transactions and negotiations, whether it's scoring new clients, scoring new jobs, new income avenues to commit to, and also increasing the rate with which your profits are stacking up. And Venus is putting you in a position to also become a lot more popular in your field or in your workspace, becoming kind of the MVP, the star player. Venus, the planet of love, favor, popularity, and affection, is going strong here and gifting you with a lot of goodies that are showing you where you can make a lot more money without having to do a whole lot more work. A lot of you may be finding you are getting recruited at this time, or somebody is trying to get you to think outside the box in a good way, in a safe way, for your own benefit. So if you've been stuck in your ways, Scorpio, when it comes to how you are going about earning a living or how you are going about meeting a financial goal, open your mind, because this is going to be a good month for you. Week 2, we've got Mercury and Venus moving on together into Capricorn, your third house of communications, pacts, promises, commitments, your peer group, as well as helpful third parties. And we have more people getting involved in your life. So don't be super insular, don't be super introverted, go with this flow, because this is all about getting the hookup. With Mercury in the third house, this is a time where your network or people that you are connected to, you share your projects and your time with the most, are going to be going hard at work for you, speeding up the completion and fruition of a lot of projects, a lot of plans, a lot of to-dos that maybe you've been working on throughout the year, as well as speeding up your growth with new help, new hands coming on deck. A lot of the times with Mercury in the third house, we see helpful third parties coming to offer to take things off our hands, as well as maybe even give some advice or some resources that help us slip out of very complicated matters in very simple ways. We've got Venus in this part of your chart hooking you up through matchmaking opportunities. Now, for those of you who are single or are available to new people, you may be finding that, yes, third parties are going to be putting you in the right place at the right time to find new love. In fact, you want to allow yourself to be match made every once in a while. And I think that what's going on this month is that if you are willing to let yourself be helped in this way, you will be helped very well. When it comes to the non-romantic priorities of Venus in the third house, this is where the fairy godmother treatment comes in. And people are kind of coming into your world, your professional life and your social life, and helping you to polish things, gussy things up, and get things to work in not only a much more efficient way, but also turn a bigger, get a bigger yield for your work, a bigger reward, a bigger profit, however you define profit in this case, whether it's social, whether it's financial, or maybe this is something you're trying to do for yourself or your family. It does not matter. Make sure that you are not trying to go it alone this month or turning away help when it is offered. We've got a full moon in Gemini on the 7th of the month, which is all about culminations, transitions, and endings. And in the 2 weeks following the 7th, a lot of you are also getting a chance to break free from some kind of debt, some kind of burden, obligation, or liability that has been thrown upon you or put on your shoulders, and you don't need to carry it anymore. Maybe you never did, but we don't need to debate that in this video. You're totally good to go here. With this full moon, there is a clearance that is taking place. And this is also a time where a lot of boundaries and barriers to intimacy, or let's just say erotic satisfaction, are also disappearing. And a lot of you Scorpio people may be getting quite wild as we go through weeks 2 and 3 of December. Whether you are currently coupled or you are single, it does not matter. A full moon, culmination, raising the roof, raising the energy of the house of intimacy and erotic expression makes for a very hot end of the year for you. We've got in week 3, Jupiter, the planet of wealth, novelty, expansion, growth, and prosperity, moving on into Aries, your 6th house of work, your reputation, your schedule, anything relating to the teams that you're on and the services that you offer to the world. And operations are expanding. With Jupiter in the 6th house, you are going to find your reputation is soaring. This is one of those times where the work that you put out there becomes very famous, very popular, it's very in. But we're also seeing with Jupiter in this part of your chart that the business that you are working for or the business that you have is also becoming a lot more prosperous itself, making all the work you put in here so much more lucrative. We also see Jupiter in the 6th house, not only making a bigger name for you and what you put out into the world, but also drawing in a stronger team, as well as clients and customers, people you can work with that are willing to maybe give you more, that is an equal exchange for the hard work you put in to everything that you do, and not just for them. A lot of you are going to be scoring brilliant new job opportunities between December 20th and May of 2023, and a lot of you are also going to be claiming some big fat raises, and it's just all around gorgeous. So use this to your full advantage. We've got the Sun entering Capricorn on the 21st of December, and this is going to be an influence that's with you through the 3rd week of January. This is that 3rd house of communications, pacts, promises, commitments, your peer group, and helpful third parties. Contributions from people that are working with you and people who are working for you are going to be all the more generous. And when we talk about contributions and additions, we're talking about people bringing you tools, bringing you assets, doing favors for you, kind of like we saw with Venus and Mercury. However, the Sun is about attention enhancement and support, and so what is happening here is that you are being generously gifted all kinds of means of not only transforming the way that you are getting a lot of your longer plans, projects, and contracts completed, but maybe even speeding up the completion of a lot of old business or old stories that you have sustained for this last year, maybe even more, because more hands on deck means less time spent working on those things. We've got a new moon in this part of your chart as well on the 23rd of December. And in the 2 weeks following this new moon, we've got that focus on seed planting, new beginnings, and initiations, creating new long-term commitments. And this is all about collaboration. This is all about the opportunity to connect with maybe a stronger peer group or see your peer group go through an evolution. Some of you may be finding that business allies, collaborators that are showing up for you are going to be creating sort of a super friends, Avengers kind of moment. We're really kind of taking over the world as we go into 2023. And even if you are used to flying solo, which seems to be a message of please don't do that this month, you are going to find that this new addition into your life is going to be not only very helpful, but even somebody who's probably going to be one of the family or somebody you would consider to be one of the family. This collaboration itself is going to not only bolster your career as well as transform your quality of life off the job, but this is something that's going to help you to maybe take a shortcut to a long-term plan or a long-term goal you have not had any idea of how to achieve until we get closer to closing up 2022. Finally, we also wrap up the month or the year even with a Mercury retrograde in this part of your chart taking place on December 29th, so it's technically more of a January aspect, but December 29th through January 18th, 2023, Mercury is retrograde in your 3rd house. Now, Mercury retrograde is all about reversals, reviews, retrievals, and reevaluations. And this is a time where a lot of you Scorpio people are getting a chance to renegotiate or remove or release any kind of old contracts or old commitments or pacts or covenants that need to go. Now, these could be things that you are just, are taking up space. Maybe there are payment plans, payment arrangements, things that you have with old collaborators, old teammates, old business ideas, old partners that are now coming up to be released, reviewed, or at least renegotiated in a way that is more current to the present as opposed to stagnating, frozen in time. And this is also a time where old peers, old allies, old opportunities, and even old collaborations are going to be put back on the table for you to reclaim and, maybe reacquaint yourself with a faster way to achieve a deeply personal ideal for yourself and maybe your whole world. So that is what I've got for you all. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate it. And should you ever wish to get a session with me, you can go on ahead to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com.